Kyrie Irving returning to one of his old stomping grounds as his Brooklyn Nets are in Boston to take on the Celtics, a rematch from the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. And honestly, it was a sweep then, and this game, pretty much every quarter, was a sweep now. Brown and Tatum and these Boston Celtics put it on Brooklyn. It's already 27-7, a little over midway through the first quarter. Tatum lighting it up. How about 18 first quarter points for Tatum? It's 30-7, and Brown is like, that ain't enough. Another three. It's 35-9. Brown again, relentless in his approach. And one, it's got the Celtics up big. It's already a 30-point game in the second. Grant Williams misses. The other Williams, Robert, does not. And then Brown again sticking it to Brooklyn for three. Brown had 7 3-pointers in this one. 26 points. Tatum spinning, winning, and Dillon down the lane. A 26-point affair. Tatum finding Robert. I actually think that might have been a pass for Brown. I don't know for certain, but it could have went to either guy. Either way, the same result was going down, an alley-oop. Tatum had 7 3-pointers just like Brown. It's already over in Boston. Just the only question is, how bad would it be? More JB in quarter number 3. Still a 30-point game. Derek White, no. Jason Tatum on the boards, yes. Tatum had 9 rebounds to go along with his 31 points. And this time around, Derek White does not miss. 36-point lead for the team in white and green. It's Tatum launching and once again connecting. He can now end his night early as the Celtics once again put it on the Nets. I know there was no Durant, but sheesh Louise, a 43-point grubbing by your reigning Eastern Conference champs. I think we have enough evidence to responsibly say the Boston Celtics are probably a very bad matchup for the Brooklyn Nets. That's your $1 million FERRO take of the day. If I am the Brooklyn Nets, I probably would try my damnedest to stay away from the Boston Celtics from a seeding perspective. Meaning, if Boston continues to shine and they end up being the 1 seed out east, if you're the Brooklyn Nets, you need to be 2, 3, 6, or 7. You need to avoid the Boston Celtics for as long as you can and pray to whomever your higher power is that the Bucks, the Heat, teams that have had success against the Boston Celtics over the last few years, you got to hope and pray that these teams are healthy and able to take out the Milwaukee Bucks. Because the reality is, if the Brooklyn Nets get their hands on the Milwaukee Bucks, it's a better matchup for the Brooklyn Nets to take on Giannis. And if I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan, I'm kind of rethinking everything, right? The Brooklyn Nets a couple years back, their first time healthy with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving going into the playoffs, and also James Harden was a part of that team. They get to the playoffs. They take out Boston. Let's not forget that in the first round. They take them out. They get to the second round against Giannis and the Bucks. Harden has got injury woes. Kyrie's got injury woes. The Nets are a mess in the second round. And even then, Kevin Durant almost got rid of the Milwaukee Bucks, the team that went on to win the championship by himself. You were literally a toe away from beating the Milwaukee Bucks in 7 games. So if you look at it from that lens, okay, maybe you're not as bad as getting swept in the first round in the Eastern Conference playoffs last season makes you look, right? If you rethink it from that lens, maybe just the final conclusion is we can't beat Boston. And I don't believe the Nets can beat the Boston Celtics in any type of series. People want to know, you know, if you ask him why is it so, the only thing I could really come up with is the bad blood that's there between some of these Boston Celtics that were around for the Kyrie Irving era. Like, they say all the right things in the world publicly. Yeah, Kyrie was a great guy when he was a part of the Boston Celtics team. We loved him. We wish we still had, you know, they say all that stuff. But they still competitors with big-time egos. Don't ever let these athletes fool you for 1 second that they don't have some of the biggest egos in the world. A lot of these guys, some of the top tier guys of the league, they got teams. They got a lot of people around that literally eat off of their success. Their families eat off their success oftentimes. Be clear. Egos are heavy. All right? Don't ever let them try to sell you otherwise. I'm sure there was some very, very, very strong feelings behind the scenes about how Kyrie Irving came in and kind of took over the Boston Celtics regime. It started out great, and then how he exited kind of suddenly from Boston. Don't let nobody else fool you on that one. Please take your boy's word on it. Again, Tatum, Brown, Smart, they're going to come out and say all the right things about Kyrie, how he's a great dude. But it feels like when they get to the court, there's an extra added motivation every time to give it to the Nets. Also, I think they know Kyrie Irving's his tendencies really well. Probably as good as any team. He's probably one of the more difficult guys in the league to guard because he can do so many different things on the court. But the Celtics are pretty much as good as anybody with containing Kyrie Irving for whatever that means. And please don't give me Kevin Durant didn't play. I don't want to hear that. Maybe the Nets would have competed harder if KD was in the lineup. Maybe the Nets would have maybe even took this game to the fourth quarter, and hell, maybe they would have even won this game. But that doesn't take away from the fact that I have enough evidence that says Boston is just flat foot better than Brooklyn. And if these two teams align in the playoffs again, I don't think the result will be any different in the first, second Eastern Conference Finals. Whatever round it is, I don't think the Nets match up well with this dynamic duo in Boston. Gentlemen go by the name of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. They're really good at basketball. You should check them out next time you get a chance. They are just a bad matchup for the Brooklyn Nets.